Well, there's been another tragedy at a notorious stretch of coastline in Sydney's south, with two women drowning yesterday afternoon after being swept off rocks and into the sea. It comes just 2 weeks after two men died while rock fishing at the same site at Kurnell. Our reporter Jessica Rendell joins us again now from the scene. Jess, good morning. It was just the most heartbreaking end to the long weekend imaginable. Can you tell us what we know happened?
Well, James, police say that 5 people were here enjoying a picnic at Kurnell on this long weekend when 3 women from the group were swept out into the ocean by a wave that crashed onto the rocks here. Now, one of those women managed to swim back to safety. She clambered up onto the rocks and bystanders managed to help her get back to shore. But sadly, 2 of the other women were swept out to sea. There was a massive police response to this. There were helicopters up in the air. They managed to locate the unconscious bodies of the women in the water, and police came out on marine vessels to pull them from the ocean. They performed CPR whilst they were on the boat and headed back into shore, but they said that this was very tricky as the waters were quite choppy at that particular time. Now, when they arrived back on shore, paramedics were at the scene, but unfortunately the 2 women could not be revived, James. Now, they have set up an investigation to look into the circumstances surrounding these drownings, but police say it's not suspicious at this time, and the women haven't been identified yet, but a report will be prepared for the coroner.
And Jess, this is now a notorious spot, isn't it? Because it's certainly not the first time that people have died there.
That's right, James. Just 2 weeks ago, 2 men were rock fishing at this area here. It's a popular rock fishing and recreation spot, and they were swept out to sea by a wave. Now, I was just standing here this morning looking out onto the water, and you can see the waves. They're quite inconsistent in the way that they crash up onto the water there. So one minute you could be sitting on a completely dry patch of rock, and the next a huge wave could come by and sweep you out into the water there. So that's why this area has been deemed a black spot by surf lifesaving groups, and they're really trying to get that message out there to the public to be vigilant, particularly around slippery rocks and particularly when there is a high tide coming in, James.
Yeah, it's very sad news. All right, Jessica Rendell, thanks for joining us.
The Federal Agriculture Minister denies there's a national egg shortage despite supermarket giant Coles imposing limits on egg purchases. Here's what he told us earlier on the program.
The bottom line is that every day Australia produces 18 million eggs every day, and there's no risk to that supply stopping anytime soon.
Well, for more, New South Wales Farmers Association President Xavier Martin joins us now from Gunnedah in New South Wales. Good morning to you, Xavier. Thanks for being on the program.
Good morning, Lisa.
All right, tell us, are you worried about this situation? Because we do know that 1 in 16 laying chickens, egg-laying chickens in Victoria has had to be destroyed. That's taken 450,000 eggs per day out of the system. So give it to us straight. What's going on?
Well, just to counter your data, Lisa, that's less than 2% of Australia's hens. So there really isn't a problem. Look, Australian farmers continue to put their boots on every day and produce the world's best plants and animals for our food and clothing. And look, New South Wales Farmers Association's got a close eye on this avian influenza situation in Victoria, and we're in regular contact with our state authorities, the DPI, and we're confident that not only is the situation being monitored, but it's been responded to appropriately, and there's no need for any concerns. Avian influenza is not new. It's been in New South Wales about a decade ago. It's endemic in wild birds. And the good news is that we know how to deal with it and we know how to prevent it getting into our hens with good biosecurity.
Did Coles jump the gun on putting a 2-carton limit?
Look, that's a question for Coles, but it says more about their procurement policy. I think that, 1 or 2% variation in the nation's production, and they come out with this sort of response. And I think the supermarket inquiry on foot by the Competition Commission is probably going to get more information out of this, which is a really good thing. They've got to answer for themselves in relation to their procurement policy.
Why are we seeing this outbreak or this spread at the moment in Victoria? What is going on?
Oh, look, it's been forecast that as various pressures built for free-range eggs rather than shed-raised hens, the intersection with the wild bird community was going to mean more disease outbreaks. So it's nothing new. It's the reality. And, to the extent that it's a managed situation, there's no need for concern about eggs or chicken meat. We need it for breakfast. All of us try to have eggs every day, and that should continue.
And you're pretty confident this isn't going to further spread and we're going to see more shortages. You're saying stay calm, it's all good.
We're saying there's plenty of shell egg, there's plenty of hens. It's only a very incremental and wholly expected outbreak. When these things happen, we've got rules and biosecurity plans in place. Enjoy your eggs. That's what we're expecting. That's what we're doing ourselves.
One of my favourite foods, so thanks very much, Xavier. I really appreciate you coming on and telling us all to stay calm over this.
Yes, alert but not alarmed.
Good on you. All right,
Thanks.
Stay calm, carry on, eat your eggs. We should have more people from Gunnedah, lovely part of the world.
Yeah.
Let's get the latest news because a man is in hospital after being shot twice during an early morning home invasion in southwest Sydney. Investigators say 8 men with their faces covered forced their way into the house at Carnes Hill near Liverpool around 1 a.m, attacking the 25-year-old man before pouring petrol through the home. The incident is being treated as a targeted attack.
A Supreme Court jury will begin hearing closing arguments today in the trial of a former Jetstar pilot accused of double murder. Greg Lynn has pleaded not guilty to the murders of campers Russell Hill and Carol Clay in Victoria's High Country, telling the jury from the witness box their deaths were an accident.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says she'll turn to the Social Democrats and Liberals to form a parliamentary majority. It comes as far-right nationalist parties made significant gains in the European Parliament election. Ms von der Leyen's centre-right party looks set to remain the largest bloc in the new parliament.
Sydney commuters are being told to plan for significant disruptions today and tomorrow as the Light Rail Network Union takes industrial action against operator Transdev. The union says they'll be driving at reduced speeds today and not running on some lines tomorrow. Transdev has apologised for the disruption and says they're trying to resolve the pay dispute with the union.
And big tourism news out of Queensland today.
Oh yeah,
and
it's big.
Very big news for Lisa Miller with the official reopening of the Big Pineapple. The more than 50-year-old heritage-listed tourist attraction on the Bruce Highway has undergone a bit of a spruce-up. The cafe will open its doors again, but customers will have to wait a little longer to indulge in the famed pineapple parfaits, which are set to return at a later date. We just don't have that ambition anymore, do we, Lisa? Where are the big things now?
Oh, I think they're still being created, aren't they? We've got a lot of big things. In fact, there's a big things expert in Brisbane.
Is there?
Been reading about.
Well, you spend a lot of time on the back roads.
Yes, I do.
Of the nation.
I do. So, yeah, and I think we're okay. All right,
Yeah.
we'll work on it.
Yeah, let's have a couple more.